Okay, bear with me. This one was very, help the words come to me, please. It was like, it almost gave destiny swapping, but it wasn't. It was like brain swapping or problem swapping. I'm not sure. It's really weird. It's like, it was like they had me, it was like bumping into or interacting with different people, but it was like, it was so wild. It was like I would meet somebody or bump into them, or there was some kind of interaction. I don't know that the interactions had any thread, so I don't really know. I don't know if that matters. I don't know. But then they would have, like, it was like I was going about my life, and then these, like, then an interaction would happen, an encounter would happen, and then we would part, right? So then I would, like, continue on. But then all of a sudden, my brain was different. My brain was now their brain. It was fucking wackadoodle. It was like, I then had to, it was like having a new brain all of a sudden and having to learn it and understand it. And then it was like it had to merge with my old brain, because I was able to, it was like pull tools of understanding from like my understanding, or like my past brain or something. And then, oh God, I don't really know what this is. So you've heard people say, like, remember they've shown it before where it's like you take on other people's karma. It kind of was like that, because I'm telling you, it felt like problems. But was it problems, or it felt like that to me because it was a new brain? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And because of course your brain affects everything. So it, like, affected my personality. It affected everything. And it was like, to get back to me, I almost had to, like, eat through their brain. It was like I had to fully understand and consume their brain, so that I then, like, my brain dominated. So it was like back in charge, back in, oh God, it was wild. Like, even them, like, having me feel it now it's like uncomfortable. It's like disturbing, right? Like, it's like I'm telling you all this because I'm also wondering, like, is there a name for this? Is this, like, what is this? What is this they're showing me? What is this experience? What am I supposed to understand from this? I mean, we could simplify it, right? We could simplify it in the fact that everyone we encounter affects us in some way, right? Because we are engaging with them, and it can, benefit us or negate us, but it's not, it's like, it's not that. That's certainly not what they were showing. And, you know why I felt like almost a swapping of a brain? But again, it wasn't, because my brain was still with me. It was like I just had to make it stronger again or something. But the reason it felt like a possible swap was when they would show me walking away, the other person seemed to have, like, my pep in their step, right? It was like maybe I took away all their bad and they were left with my good, or something like that. It was weird like that. Which I've heard people talk about this before, that some people unconsciously take on other people's, stuff. So maybe that's what they were also showing. I don't know. Like, my brain hurts right now, even trying to figure out the words to describe the feeling and the imagery and the understanding of That last description might be the best one, where it's like people, it's like absorb other people's shit. But it was more than that. Or maybe not, maybe it just, I mean, and right away I want to jump to, so what do you do about that, right? If it is the latter, then it's like telling yourself the right stuff and rewiring your own brain so you don't take on other people's burdens, and you consciously make an effort to have those boundaries in place, right? And saying no and not absorbing unconsciously, and certainly not taking on consciously other people's stuff, right? We all have our own stuff. We all have enough of our own stuff, We don't need to dump our burdens on others. So, love yourself and protect yourself in that sense. But I don't like that word protect. I mean, I want you to protect yourself, but you know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like there's something bad. And it's like, it's not so much that. It's as much as honoring oneself and staying aligned with oneself and growing that backbone. I really wish I could describe this imagery better, because I keep flashing it, and because it is not, it has to be the last thing that I just said that is the best explanation, in that it in all the interactions, it's not like a conscious or a discussion or like a agreement. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're like, oh, well, you take on these burdens. No, it seems like it's just done for them, so to speak. But it was to my detriment. What was interesting too is that I did have it almost, in a few of the scenes, it did have them looking back. So it was almost like they were aware, maybe because when they left, they felt tremendously better. And so maybe they were looking back just out of, how did that happen? I don't know. Because I don't know if I said this. I couldn't hear like I normally can hear. So it was different in that sense. And so it was like they were looking back like, and they kept listening. I don't know if that was pointing out that I couldn't hear or if they were listening. I'm not sure. And they, it was like they were amazed or something that I don't know, was I guess be able to figure out their problems, right? Like figure out the Rubik's Cube of their mind when they couldn't, and it was always theirs. It kind of gave that feeling, but I'm like, oh, did I just make that up? Did I pick that up from, because again, there was no words and there wasn't necessarily, it was just a few that I could see. They realized they felt lighter and brighter and better, and they looked back and they did like kind of tilt their head out of curiosity or how'd you do that? Or that kind of thing. But again, I was just picking all that up from imagery. So I don't know. They're not really showing me more now either. It's kind of just interesting to me the way it's being shown. And it didn't, like my brain hurts a little. And so I don't know what, again, the only thing I can think of is, that's interesting. I'm thinking to tell you to protect yourself because I'm taking this whole interaction as a negative, right? Like somebody else might be like, oh, that sounds like fun to take off. So it's like, I guess that's why everybody has to decide on their own. Somebody else could be like, oh, I like to do that. Where I think I do that unconsciously too much. And so it's like me having to cleanse that out, clear that out, and not take that on, right? Or having that balance. But again, I suppose it's your perspective, how you would perceive that same imagery right, will determine you, like then open up more to other people's stuff. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, we could go on for days. I guess this one, it's like, don't give advice at all, right? It's just food for thought, I suppose. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. If you would like to support this channel, you can find more information in the notes below.